Picture this. A woman walks into a room. She doesn't scan for approval, doesn't seek validation, doesn't need rescuing. And suddenly, everyone feels uncomfortable. Why? There's a type of woman that makes entire societies tremble. Not because she's dangerous, but because she's free. Free from the invisible chains that have bound half of humanity for millennia. This woman doesn't fit the script. She rewrites it. But here's what's truly fascinating. The fear isn't really about her. It's about what she represents. When a woman needs no man, she exposes a terrifying truth. That dependency was never natural. It was engineered. Simone de Beauvoir saw this clearly in 1949. She understood that the woman who needs no man isn't rejecting love or partnership. She's rejecting control. And that threatens everything. Think about it. What happens to a system built on one half serving the other when that half simply stops? When she chooses herself first? When her dreams aren't negotiable? When her voice doesn't seek permission? The independent woman is society's mirror, reflecting back every uncomfortable truth about power, control, and the artificial limitations we've accepted as natural law. So why does her freedom feel so threatening? What exactly are we all so afraid of? What exactly terrifies them about her independence? Let's dissect this fear, because it runs deeper than you might think. When a woman declares she needs no man, she's not just making a personal statement. She's dismantling a social contract that's been in place for thousands of years. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Our entire civilization has been built on a fundamental assumption that women are incomplete without men, not just romantically, but economically, socially, even intellectually. This assumption justified everything from denying women education to controlling their finances, from limiting their career choices to defining their worth through relationships. But what happens when that assumption crumbles? When she proves she can earn her own money, make her own decisions, find her own purpose? Suddenly, the emperor has no clothes. The terror isn't just masculine, it's systemic. Industries built on female insecurity start to shake. The beauty industry that profits from self-doubt. The wedding industry that sells the idea that marriage is a woman's ultimate achievement. The self-help industry that promises to make you worthy of love. Think about it. How many billion-dollar industries would collapse if women truly believed they were complete as they are? But here's where it gets really interesting. The fear isn't even conscious most of the time. It's buried deep in our collective unconscious, passed down through generations like a virus. We've been programmed to see female independence as unnatural, threatening, even selfish. So when she walks into that room, needing nothing from anyone, what's really happening? She's exposing the lie, and lies, especially comfortable ones, don't go down without a fight. The question is, are you ready to face what her freedom reveals about your own chains? One is not born, but rather becomes a woman. With these 8 words, Simone de Beauvoir detonated a philosophical bomb that's still sending shockwaves through society today. But what did she really mean? And why does this idea still make people so uncomfortable? Here's what Beauvoir discovered. Everything we've been told about feminine nature is a lie. That nurturing instinct? Learned. That need for protection? Conditioned. That desire to please? Programmed. She realized that what we call being a woman isn't biology. It's a performance we've been rehearsing since birth. Beauvoir looked at the world and asked the question no one dared to ask. What if women aren't naturally dependent? What if they've just been systematically taught to be? She saw through the beautiful lies society tells itself. The myth that women are naturally suited for domestic life. The fairy tale that a woman's greatest fulfillment comes from serving others. The comfortable fiction that female submission is divine design rather than social engineering. But here's where Beauvoir's genius really shines. She didn't just identify the problem. She offered the solution. Freedom through consciousness, liberation through understanding. The moment a woman realizes she's been playing a role, she can choose to step off the stage. And if you're finding this perspective eye-opening, hit that like button and subscribe to Mind Revelation, because we're just getting started on this journey of philosophical awakening. Think about your own life for a moment. How many of your choices have been truly yours? How many were made because that's what women do? Beauvoir's revelation isn't just historical. It's happening right now in your mind, as you question everything you've been told about who you're supposed to be. So the real question becomes, once you see the cage, can you ever unsee it? Every independent choice she makes is an act of rebellion. But here's what's truly insidious. Society has perfected the art of invisible warfare. The battle for female dependence isn't fought with chains and locks anymore. It's fought with whispers, expectations, and the deadliest weapon of all, internalized doubt. Watch how it works. She gets promoted. Must be nice to have all that time since you don't have kids. She travels alone. Isn't that dangerous for a woman? She buys her own house. Still waiting for Mr. Right? Each comment is a tiny poison dart designed to make her question her choices. The economic battlefield is particularly brutal. Ever notice how women are encouraged to pursue careers that keep them financially vulnerable? Teaching, nursing, social work, noble professions, but conveniently underpaid. Meanwhile, the high-paying fields remain mysteriously masculine. Coincidence? Hardly. But here's where it gets psychological. Society has weaponized women's own empathy against them. She's taught that putting herself first is selfish, that having boundaries is mean, that saying no makes her difficult. The very traits that would make her independent, assertiveness, ambition, self-advocacy, are labeled as unfeminine. The dating world becomes another battlefield. How many times have you heard, "Successful women intimidate men"? Translation: lower your standards, dim your light, make yourself smaller so others feel bigger. The message is clear. Your independence is a bug, not a feature. Even her own family joins the assault. When are you settling down? Don't you want children? You're getting too picky. Each question carries the same underlying assumption, that a woman without a man is somehow incomplete, somehow failing at her primary purpose. So tell me, if independence is so natural, why does it require such constant courage to maintain? When she needs no validation, she becomes unstoppable. But here's what society doesn't want you to know. The woman who needs no man isn't just liberating herself. She's liberating everyone around her. Her independence creates a ripple effect that transforms relationships, families, and entire communities in ways that are nothing short of revolutionary. Think about it. What happens when she enters a relationship by choice, not necessity? Suddenly, love becomes pure. It's no longer transactional. Her affection for his protection, her beauty for his resources. When she can pay her own bills, fix her own problems, and create her own happiness, she chooses love for love's sake. And that terrifies a system built on dependency. Her children grow up seeing a different model. Imagine daughters who never doubt their own capability. Sons who never assume women need rescuing. She's not just raising kids. She's rewiring the next generation's understanding of human potential. In the workplace, she changes everything. She negotiates fearlessly because she's not afraid to walk away. She speaks up in meetings because her voice doesn't need permission. She takes risks because her security doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. And suddenly, every woman around her starts to remember what courage looks like. But here's the most beautiful part. Her independence doesn't diminish men. It elevates them. When she doesn't need a provider, he's free to be a partner. When she doesn't need a protector, he can be vulnerable. When she doesn't need completion, they can both be whole. The independent woman is society's upgrade. She's proof that we can evolve beyond ancient survival patterns, that we can choose connection over dependency, partnership over possession, love over control. So why does this transformation feel so threatening? Because it requires everyone else to level up too. Her freedom reflects their own cages. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why does her independence trigger such deep primal fear? The answer lies in a psychological mirror that most people aren't ready to look into. Here's the brutal truth. When a woman demonstrates she needs no man, she exposes how much men have been taught they need to be needed. For centuries, masculine identity has been built on a foundation of female dependency, provider, protector, problem solver. But what happens to that identity when she can provide for herself, protect herself, solve her own problems? The fear runs deeper than ego. It's existential. If she doesn't need rescuing, what's his purpose? If she's not incomplete without him, what's his value? The independent woman forces a question that shakes men to their core. Who am I if I'm not essential to someone else's survival? But it's not just men who feel threatened. Other women often become the harshest critics. Why? Because her freedom is a mirror reflecting their own choices. Every woman who stayed in an unfulfilling relationship for security sees her independence as judgment. Every woman who sacrificed dreams for approval sees her authenticity as accusation. Society itself feels the tremor because it's built on predictable patterns. When half the population stops following the script, everything becomes uncertain. What happens to social structures when women stop seeking male approval? What happens to power dynamics when she stops playing small? If you've made it this far in our journey together, you're clearly someone who values deep thinking and authentic growth. Drop the word freedom in the comments below. Let's create a community of people ready to face uncomfortable truths. And stick with me until the end, because what's coming next will change how you see everything. The real terror isn't about her independence. It's about the revolution it represents. Because once one woman breaks free, others start to remember. They can too. The woman who needs no man is not against men. She's for humanity. We've reached the end of our journey together. And here's what Simone de Beauvoir understood that we're only beginning to grasp. This was never about women versus men. This was about humanity versus limitation. About consciousness versus conditioning. About evolution versus stagnation. The woman who needs no man isn't rejecting love. She's redefining it. She's saying, I choose you not because I need you, but because I want you. Not because I'm incomplete, but because together we're extraordinary. This isn't the death of romance. It's romance finally growing up. But here's the revolutionary part. Her independence isn't just changing relationships. It's changing the entire human experience. When half of humanity stops limiting itself, we all expand. When women stop shrinking, the whole world gets bigger. When she stops asking permission, everyone remembers they don't need it either. Beauvoir saw this coming in 1949. She knew that the woman who needs no man would eventually become the woman who liberates everyone. Because freedom is contagious. Authenticity is viral. And once you've seen someone living without chains, you can never unsee the possibility. So here's your moment of choice. You can continue living the script society wrote for you, or you can pick up the pen and write your own story. You can keep playing small to make others comfortable, or you can expand into the fullness of who you're meant to be. The revolution isn't coming. It's here. It's happening every time a woman chooses herself, every time a man embraces vulnerability, every time someone refuses to be limited by what they're supposed to be. The question isn't whether you're ready for this revolution. The question is, are you brave enough to be part of it? Because the woman who needs no man isn't just changing her own life, she's changing the world. And that world is waiting for you to step into your power. What will you choose?